Before we get into our training video, if by chance you found this video as a recommended video on YouTube, this training video is actually part of an extensive CorelDRAW for Beginners training series from AdvancedTshirts.com. We have developed dozens of videos, and we also have available on our website downloadable work-along files that you can work with in CorelDRAW while you're working through the training videos. Easily the best and fastest way to learn. If these videos are helpful to you, please take a second to add a like to the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can be notified when we upload new video content. And of course, in the comment section below, you can post your questions or your CorelDRAW video tutorial requests. In this session, we're going to take a look at working with the Bezier tool. In CorelDRAW, the Bezier tool is a very interactive tool for drawing vector lines and curve shapes in CorelDRAW. And it has a lot of interactive features and hotkeys, and we want to be aware of all of those. We have all those listed in the document here for you in the download. But let's just get started with the basics of it, and we'll see how it works. Come over here to the Freehand Tool Flyout menu. Down here to the Bezier tool. Now if I left click one time, a node will be created or dropped in my CorelDRAW workspace. If I left click a second time, I'll get a line segment. If I left click and hold down and pull, I'll get a curve line segment attached to a node in the symmetrical state. From here, I can hold down the Alt key to move the node and ensure the accuracy of the position where I'm laying down the node. I can also press the C key on my keyboard, and the node will change from the symmetrical state to the cusp state. Press C, and now you can see I've got a cusp for the node. And this is all happening with hotkeys, and it's quite dynamic. I can go to the smooth state. Press the S key, move, now I've got smooth. Press S again, move, I am back into the symmetrical state for that node, and I can hold down Alt and move the node. Now, one thing you want to know is that you can only move the node holding down the Alt key on your keyboard in the symmetrical node state. I'll left click and lay down another node here, and we'll come here and we'll change to the cusp state, and we'll come up here and we'll come around this way, come down through here, and we'll lay down another node here. Now with the Bezier tool, when you have enable node tracking enabled in CorelDRAW through the options, which we covered in previous videos, when you hover over a node, the Bezier tool will change to the shape tool. Once you've changed the shape tool, you can also hover over a line. If I want to change this curved line to a line segment, I can go hover over a node, click on that, change to the shape tool, make sure I'm on the line segment, click, you'll see that black dot, hit L, that line segment will be changed to a line state. I can also right click and get a right click contextual menu. You notice that'll gray out my property bar and come up here, and I could change that back to a curve state. Or I can work with the tools in the property bar, and these are basically identical to the shape tool properties because I'm in the shape tool state. Go to control arm, left click, hold down, and make an adjustment. Then when I click off, I'll be back in the Bezier tool. Go back, select the node here, hold down control, select individual nodes and work with them. Now I know that my direction for this line is going from the left to the right, so if I select this node, hold down shift, I'll select all the nodes in between that node and that node, left click, and I can move them all. However, if I select this node, hold down control, I can select individual nodes, move them around. I can select line segments and edit them. click off, and I'll be back in the Bezier tool. So this is a very interactive tool for drawing lines and shapes in CorelDRAW, and that's the Bezier tool. And that's the fundamentals of how it works, and it's very interactive and dynamic. You'll want to be aware of those hotkeys, and they're all listed here for you on the document down here at the bottom under the hotkeys, etc. Now let's take a look at tracing and drawing with the Bezier tool. I'll delete that line segment and I'll come over here to this bitmap. If I'm going to trace things, very often I like to right click on them and select lock object. That way if I'm doing something it won't be able to move. Then I'll come here and just push forward with my center mouse wheel and bring that into my workspace so I can see it nice and clear. Go to the Bezier tool once again from the freehand tool down here to Bezier. I'll start here at this end, left click, lay down a node. Then I'll come in here, left click, drop another node there. And I can see how accurate that is. And I'll come down here, left click, drop a node, follow that shape, hit the C key, change to a cusp. This is going to be the line, so I'll just drop this right here. Left click, follow through up here this way. Come up here to the top, follow that. Make sure it's accurate. Hit the C key, change to a cusp, come back down this way. Come out this way, kind of following that there, and just pull that right out to where I think it's going to be accurate. Come back here to this point, left click, pull that down. Change to the C key to a cusp. This is all going to be straight lines, so I'll just click here, click here, click here. Now if I'm not happy with this, I can go back here, select that node and make some adjustments there to smooth that out like that. Click off and I'll be back in the Bezier tool. I'll double click here. I already know this is going to be in the cusp bait, but I'm going to double click just to make sure. Come here, left click, pull. You can see I'm going to get a curved line segment there. Come down to this point, left click, pull out, hold that down, hit C, change to a cusp, pull back, come back up through here and follow my shape. Now if I'm not happy with where the node is, I can change that. I'll bring that right there and kind of try to follow that up this way here. Then come over here, left click, hold down. I'm going to go to C, change that to a cusp. Put it in the direction that I'm going to go with the straight line. Come through here. Now I'm moving kind of slowly for the sake of the video. And then right here, right to that segment, back to the C key, come back up this way, come over here, left click, hold down, pull out for the shape of the line segment, hit the C key, change to a cusp, bring the arrow so it's matching the direction of the line, then just click, click, click for the line segments, come over here, pull out this way, come to the starting node, left click and pull that out this way. I can go to the shape tool and make some adjustments to make this nice and accurate. Just select my nodes, my handles, etc. So that's the basics of how you could trace something like that. Pull this line segment down just a little bit right there, and you can see how you could work through that and do your tracing with the Bezier tool. Now down here I've got a really simple trace, and we'll just take a look at this because we want to get into the outlines here, because very often that's how I work with things. But to trace something like this, you just go to your Bezier tool, you can zoom in, start out a little bit because you're probably going to trim that. You want to be right in the middle of your segments, like right here, and we'll zoom out, and we can zoom in and out while we're working with the Bezier tool and our center mouse wheel. And I'll zoom in here, and I'll zoom in down here. Now here I'll come right to the center, and then I'll take that. Now I should have changed to a cusp node, so I want to hit Control Z and go back. Come here, pull out, keep that straight, and then hit the C key, change to a cusp. Then I can come up here And I'll just go right through here, and we'll just kind of follow this through the center. Left click, hold down, pull. Then we'll wrap right here in the center, right about there. Now that I'm done with that, I'll go to my shape tool and I'll just lasso. Left click, hold down, lasso these nodes, and I'll hit delete. And you can see I've got that shape. I might want to tweak that just a little bit with the control arms. Make sure it's nice and smooth to the center. Select this, I'll click on that and hit L to convert that to a line. And I could actually double click, drop a node here, and then pull this up into this area here. Then I would go to my pick tool, hit my space bar, change my outline to, let's look at 2 point, that's close. 3 point looks good. I want to go to the object properties, and I'm going to go to the outline, and I'm going to give this a rounded corners, and you can see how that worked. Now we're off just a little bit, so I'm going to go to the shape tool, and I'll zoom in and just pull this right up in here, right there. And zooming in, zooming out, and zooming in, pull back, center mouse wheel, zoom in, pushing forward on the center mouse wheel, and get everything in the correct position. And then I want to go back and make sure that my end caps are also round. You can see that. Come up here, pull this right down into there, make sure that that's correct. Everything looks good to me right now. I'll take this, I'll hit Control, Shift, and Q. That will convert my outline to an object. Or you could have gone to Object and convert outline to object. Then I'm going to select this, hold down Control, and bring this over. And I made a mistake, I wanted to duplicate that. So I'm going to select this, hold down Control, duplicate this. Holding down Control, make sure that it's duplicated exactly. And I can right click one time to duplicate that. I can bring that over into alignment with the tip up here in the heart. I can hold down Shift, select both items, and then weld them. And now I've traced that object working with the Bezier tool. So in this session we've covered the basics of the Bezier tool, done some fundamental traces with the Bezier tool and working with some different techniques. We'll wrap in this video and we'll continue in our next session.